which should you buy? Good morning, YouTube. What's up, guys? I hope you're safe and healthy and happy and doing okay. So last week I did a first run impressions video on the Hoka Mach 4, and I noticed in the comments that a lot of you were asking me to compare the shoe to other Hokas in their lineup, but specifically to the Rincon 2. As you guys may or may not know, the Hoka Rincon 2 was one of my favorite shoes of 2020, and yes, it does have some issues that we will discuss today, but overall, one of my favorite shoes and really a solid, versatile trainer. Now, the Mach 4 is a 2021 shoe, and while it's still extremely early for me to even say that this could be one of my favorite shoes of 2021, I almost am fully confident that it will be. So which one's right for you is the question, and I hope that I can help you answer that today. But first, check out this running montage of me in both of these beautiful shoes. Thing before we get started today, both of these shoes were provided to me by Running Warehouse and Hoka. However, neither company can tell me what to say. They're not going to see this video before you do, and all of my opinions are completely my own. All right, so let's start with the specs. The Hoka Rincon 2 is 7 ounces for a women's size 8, and for my size, 10.5 women's, this shoe came in at 7.8 ounces. The Hoka Mach 4 is slightly heavier. It's 7.1 ounces for a women's size 8, and for my size, this is actually a men's size 9, which is the equivalent to a women's 10.5. This shoe came in at 8.2 ounces. So it is, like I said, slightly heavier, but on foot, you really don't feel that difference too much. They both have a 5mm drop. Now, for sizing of these shoes, it's kind of tricky. I did give both of these a true to size. However, the Rincon does have a little bit of extra room in that toe box. And I have heard from a lot of people, my best friend included, that the sizing of the Rincon is just totally off for them. So I really would suggest, if you can, I know it's a pandemic, but if you're able to try the Rincon on in a store, I think that's probably gonna be your best bet, just so you can see if you're having sizing issues with it as well. The Mach 4, I really didn't have any sizing issues. I feel just fine in it, and this is a men's size 9. But I know Hoka's sizing can be a little tricky, and in a lot of their other shoes, I have had to size a half size down. So do keep that in mind with both of these shoes. All right, so now let's talk about the uppers of both of these shoes. For the Rincon 2, we have an engineered sandwich mesh. It's fairly breathable. There's not a ton of overlays in the midfoot, and the back of the heel is fairly sturdy with a very large, kind of classic looking pull tab. Now the upper of the Mach 4 is also a fairly breathable engineered mesh. It feels a little bit softer to me. There's also not a ton of overlays in the midfoot, but if you go to the back, the heel counter is very sturdy, like the Rincon, but it does have that flare that's acting as a pull tab rather than just your classic pull tab. I ran in these shoes back to back on the same day for filming, and the uppers feel extremely different on foot. The Rincon is a little bit more rigid, and I did have some volume issues with this shoe that I did talk about. I had to really cinch down the laces here to get a good fit around the midfoot of the shoe. And as I also talked about in the full review, I didn't like the tongue of the shoe. It was kind of short, it's not gusseted, and it would slide inwards a bit while I was running, so that was kind of annoying. Here in the Mach 4, I don't have the same volume issues that I do in the Rincon 2. I don't need to cinch the laces down quite as much here. And while the tongue of the Rincon 2 was kind of annoying, in the Mach 4, I think it actually benefits this shoe. I'm gonna put this down, this is kind of annoying. Like I was saying, this tongue comes up a little bit higher and it is gusseted, so you get a nice wrap around the midfoot, and I felt a lot more dialed in and locked down here than I did in the Rincon 2. In terms of the heel counters, I do think the Mach 4 locks you in a little bit better, though the Rincon does just fine. And the pull tabs I can take or leave. If you want to put an elf heel, fine. If you want to put this big pull tab, fine. I don't really care either way. Neither shoe gave me hot spots, irritation, or blisters, so that's always good. But overall, I do think that the Mach 4 just fits me better, feels more comfortable, and is softer. And it was really evident when I was running in the Mach 4 the other day and then took it off to run in the Rincon 2 directly after it. I really felt that change in fit, and the Rincon 2 almost felt sloppy to me after that. All right, so now let's talk about the midsole. The Rincon 2 is one of Hoka's glide shoes, which they consider to be more balanced cushioning, and the Mach 4 is one of their fly shoes, which they consider to be more responsive cushioning. It's kind of like, I guess, like New Balance has like fresh foam and they have Feel Cell. The Rincon is sporting a full length compression EVA midsole with the early stage Meta Rocker, and the Mach 4 is using Hoka's new Pro Fly foam with an early stage Meta Rocker as well. And then under that Pro Fly foam, we have some rubberized EVA that the Outsole utilizes, but that also gives the Mach 4 a more bounce and springy feel. So if I took the Rincon 2 out individually one day without having run in the Mach 4 first, I would tell you that this shoe feels so cushy and lightweight, and it rolls so nicely, and it's a great shoe for both tempo day and for long runs. However, the other day when I was running, I ran in the Mach 4 first, and when I put this shoe on after, it felt like I was running on cardboard. And I wish I could put that more lightly, but that's truly how it felt. Now, keep in mind, I do have a lot more miles in the Rincon, about 20 more. So that could have something to do with it, considering I do think the durability of the shoe lacks a bit. So just something to consider. But I still think I'd feel the same way if the Mach 4 had the same amount of mileage on it. The Mach 4 just feels a lot more springy, a lot bouncier, and it just feels like the Pro Fly offers a bit more cushioning and protection from the road. In the Rincon, you do feel lower to the ground and you don't get all of that really cushiony, soft feel underfoot. So if you like that for tempo days or just running in general, then you're gonna want the Rincon over the Mach 4 because you're still gonna get tons of protection here and comfort. You do feel higher off the ground in this shoe. It does feel a little bit more of like a daily trainer vibe. However, this shoe likes to go fast, and it's kind of hard at times to just go easy in it. Both of these shoes are fantastic for long runs, and I would absolutely recommend them to somebody who is looking for a shoe that can do daily training but also do tempo days. I mean, these are both fantastic for that. And while the Mach 4 is heavier, you barely feel it, and I think it performs just as good as the Rincon does for speed days. And something also that I will note is that I do feel like, and it is early, but I do feel like the Mach 4 will be a little bit more durable than the Rincon 2. Which has been kind of one of the knocks of the Rincon lineup, is the durability. And I'm hoping, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I'm really hoping the Mach 4 is better in that department. So for me, as you probably might be able to tell, the Mach 4 is what I would choose here. I love the Rincon, do not get me wrong, truly, truly love it. But when I had both of these shoes on kind of side by side, I really realized that I do appreciate the bounce and the extra cushion that the Mach 4 does provide. So now let's talk about the outsoles. The Rincon is sporting very little rubber in the forefoot with a lot, and I mean a lot, of exposed EVA all over the outsole of the shoe and very little rubber in the heel. And as you can see, it is fraying quite a bit. Now, the outsole of the Mach 4 is rubberized EVA, so there actually isn't any real rubber here. So we are seeing some fraying a bit in the forefoot, but nothing too crazy. Again, I don't have as many miles in this shoe as I do in the Rincon. But at this point, I don't think the wear is too terrible. So obviously people look at this and they kind of wince a little bit, and they also wonder if this rubberized EVA that we have here in the Mach 4 is going to do the same thing. And in my opinion, I don't think it's going to be quite as bad as the Rincon because it is rubberized. Still, what I wish Hoka would do is just combine these two outsoles and do rubberized EVA with also some rubber. I don't think that that would cause the shoes to get too heavy, honestly, and I think it would be great. Regardless, traction on both of these shoes is pretty good. The rubber on this shoe grips onto pavement and other surfaces just fine. And surprisingly enough, the rubberized EVA also does a decent job. So, I mean, it's tough with these. I think it's kind of a tie at this point, but I'm leaning more to the outsole of the Mach 4 just because of how bad this looks after 50 miles. The Hoka Rincon 2 is $114.95 on runningwarehouse.com, and the Hoka Mach 4 is $129.95 on runningwarehouse.com. So we do have a $15 difference here in price. Now, this is where I'm going to tell you which shoe I would choose. And if you have been watching any of this video, you probably gathered that I would buy the Mach 4 and I would pay the extra $15. The reasoning behind that is while it is a bit heavier, I do think that it's going to last longer. It has a little more underfoot and it just has this bounce and spring that the Rincon just does not have. Now, this is by no means a bad shoe. So if you are really not wanting to spend $130 on a running shoe, you want something that's going to be on the lower budget end of running shoes because $114.95 is a pretty damn good price, then I would go with the Rincon 2. It's still a fantastic shoe. And if you never try the Mach 4, you'll never really see the issues with it. But if you're interested in picking up either of these shoes from Running Warehouse, I will put links in the description of this video. Keep in mind, these links are affiliate links, which doesn't mean much for you. It just helps out my channel so I can compare these two shoes and really hopefully help you guys determine and understand which one is better for you. I've been pretty impressed with Hoka lately. I think they've done a really good job with some of their newer shoes, and the Mach 4 is probably my absolute favorite Hoka of all time. I can't believe I'm saying that because I am such a huge Clifton fan. I did really love the Rincon, but I gotta say, the underfoot feel of the shoe is just not really comparable. Well guys, that concludes my which should you buy video, the Hoka Rincon 2 or the Hoka Mach 4. If you enjoyed this video, please like it down below and subscribe. And when you're done with all that, hit that notifications bell down below so you can find out every time I upload a new video. I'm going head to head. I have some more videos for you guys next week, but in the meantime, get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget to run like heller. You can tell I'm running out of ideas for that, right? I'll see you next time. Say hi to all your friends on YouTube. All right, you want dinner? Want me to make you some dinner? Do you want dinner? All right, let's go.